This is so stupid. Tiffany Henyard is back in the news again, and this is probably one of the stupidest stunts that she's ever pulled. And today, I'm going to break this down in a different way. For the first time, I'm just going to come straight out and tell you what I think about this from a black conservative's perspective. Okay, no more pulling punches and trying to be nice and trying not to offend the people who are liberals, left-leaning, blue blood, Democrat, vote blue, no matter who people. I'm just going to tell you what I think because my opinion counts as a conservative too, and I think that should be respected. Okay, so anyway, Tiffany Henyard. Yep, there she is. She thinks that this is a bright idea. She's gonna run in Atlanta in Fulton County, and she's gonna be on the Republican ticket. So I guess she woke up one day and said, "I's a Republican now." Yeah, okay, right. We'll see how that works. Well, anyway, let's check out a quick video here. This is a short that's been put out by WGN News. We'll let them give the basics of what's going on. And then I'm going to come back and tell you exactly what I think from a black conservative perspective. All right, WGN News, take it away.
Scandal-scarred South suburban politician Tiffany Henyard is hoping for a comeback. I'm WGN-TV investigative reporter Ben Bradley. Henyard is attempting to resuscitate her political career 700 miles away in Atlanta, where she has apparently secured a spot on the ballot for district commissioner on the Fulton County Board. For those of you who don't remember the long, strange saga of Tiffany Henyard's reign in the South suburbs, here's a quick refresher. She flew first class, wined and dined on the taxpayer dime. She had a questionable cancer charity. Corruption claims dogged her to the point the FBI served subpoenas. While she hasn't been charged with wrongdoing, she did not take it particularly well whenever anyone would question her.
Y'all are black, and y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Dalton voters drummed her out of office early last year. 88% voted against her. She was a Democrat back then, and now she's running as a Republican. And because there's no competition in the primary, that clears the way for her to be on the general election ballot in November. We rang up a political science professor from Emory University in Atlanta. She said Henyard's bid is a long shot.
This is somebody who hasn't had much of a chance to establish roots. And she's going to be running against people who have far deeper roots in the community. And so that might actually end up being what is her undoing. It may not be because of her scandalous past, but it may be she hasn't lived long enough in this district.
Georgia election records show that Henyard registered to vote down there on February 27th, just 2 days after voters gave her the boot in Dalton. That means even if she's elected in Georgia, she may not meet the year residency requirement. Henyard did not respond to my request for comment, but that may be because she knew we were also calling about this. A judgment entered today by a Cook County court. A judge ordered Henyard and her boyfriend to pay their old landlord in Dalton $10,000. She's accused of stiffing the landlord on rent and causing property damage before they left town. For more of our reporting, go to WGNTV.com/.
Okay, wow. Surprise, surprise, she's getting evicted. Shocker of the century. Okay, all right, time to give you what my real honest opinion is. Well, first of all, Tiffany Henyard has become what is called a carpetbagger. Now, you all remember what that is from school. That's after the Civil War, when the North beats the South, and then we didn't trust them to elect their own politicians, so you had a bunch of people from up north that moved down south in order to take the elected positions while the North was rebuilding the South. And so they called them carpetbaggers because they had to stuff all of their personal belongings in a huge bag, a carpet bag, so they could quickly move down south to help to run the new South. All right, so Tiffany is a carpetbagger. She took her janky business and moved to Atlanta, opening up her new store to sell her trash, garbage, used clothing, because she's such a hip hop fashion mogul, right? And then figured that Fulton County would be the place that she can start over again. Now, there's probably a reason why she thinks that this would be a good idea. And that's because we all know that Fulton County is a train wreck. It's as bad off as Chicago. And why is that? Well, it's because we've got Fannie Willis. Yes, Fannie Pack Willis has just laid a wrecking ball to the budget for Fulton County, because she is on the hook for what, $16 million that could be paid back in restitution and damages to cover for the legal expenses for the case against President Donald Trump, because the case got thrown out due to her impropriety. So I guess she feels like, well, if they're that stupid in Fulton County, and they've already been laid to waste, by someone similar to her, she can pack her bags and run down there and do the same thing. Now, I will say this. Fulton County is stupid, but they're not that stupid. Fulton County is overrun, Atlanta is overrun with Democrats, and we're talking the majority of the black folks, probably 90% plus, that live in Fulton County are registered Democrats. So she thinks she can run down there and cash in on all of these suckers who would possibly vote for her as a Republican. Now, that's what doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, so she figures, all right, I'm going to switch the game. I'm going to ditch the Democratic Party. I'm going to run it as a Republican, and there are two reasons. Reason number one is there's nobody on the primary running for district commissioner on the Fulton County board on the Republican ticket. There's like 3 or 4 people running on the Democratic side, nobody on the Republican side. So they let her in. I guess they didn't stop her from having the 1-year residency requirement. And then she gets to run uncontested, which means she gets to skate through the primary and get a lot of face time and advertisement all the way through spring and summer and fall until the November election. But here's the thing. You're switching up the game and calling yourself a Republican, and the people in Fulton County don't like Republicans. They were all hoping that their savior, Fannie Willis, would be the one to put Donald Trump away for good with that whole RICO case, ridiculous RICO case that she tried to throw at the president. And in fact, she colluded with Joe Biden, and her boyfriend, Nathan Wade, is now getting put out on Front Street because they're uncovering all of the conversations and the trips that he had when he was meeting with the Biden administration while they plotted and planned to get this case pushed forward. Now, in addition to that, they gave them a $2 million grant to spend in order to get Donald Trump taken care of and get him put in jail and all of his cronies, that they call them, under the RICO case. All right, so that should tell you enough about what Fulton County black residents think about Republicans. Now, the second reason why she's switching parties is it's pretty clear. I mean, it's obvious. Okay, so the FBI investigation into Tiffany Henyard's debauchery in Dalton, Illinois, all right, that started during the Biden administration, during a Democratic administration. Now, you remember the video that she did where she got invited to the mayor's meeting at the White House, and she shows up shooting selfies and videos and boasting and bragging and rubbing elbows with President Biden. But that did not stop the Biden administration's FBI from launching the investigation into all of the corruption, alleged corruption, that was going on in Dalton while she served as the mayor and the supervisor of Thornton Township. Okay, so after that investigation started, she figured, oh, well, the heat is on me. And it looks like Donald Trump is going to win this election. So she started to pump up Donald Trump and using some of his terms like fake news and acting like she was the same type of victim that he was, where people just make up stuff about her that isn't true because she's such a great person and such a breakthrough leader, right? I don't know if that's going to work. That's a pretty stupid idea because the FBI investigation is still going on. But she figures that if she sucks up to Donald Trump and the Republican-controlled FBI, maybe President Trump will be complimented by that, just like he was with the Chicago Flips Red group, where he was talking about the beautiful black women wearing MAGA hats. I think that's where she got this idea from. So if she could become the apple of Donald Trump's eye and pretend that she's a conservative Republican who wears a MAGA hat and thinks that Donald Trump is a great person, then maybe he'll tell the FBI to back off. Well, it's not happening. It ain't happened yet, and it's not going to happen. And I don't care what anybody says, that FBI investigation ain't going away. It doesn't matter who is in charge, the Democrats or the Republicans. They are knee deep into that investigation, and they've got their claws into Tiffany Henyard, and it is going to play out just like it did when we saw Kwame Kilpatrick in the city of Detroit. I did a video on that. You can check back and watch it. There are a lot of similarities between the Kwame Kilpatrick story and the super mayor Tiffany Henyard story. So suck it up to the Trump administration. It's not going to work. And besides that, she's still a Democrat. What makes you think that she actually has changed all of her beliefs? She was even saying in that video interview that she did with the African lady down in Fulton County, she said, "I am a Democrat." But then she claims that she's sucking up to Donald Trump and that Republicans are doing great things, and she thinks that they are making good decisions in how to run the country. But she already let the cat out of the bag. She's still a Democrat. Now, it was Democrats that put her into power in Dalton. All right. It wasn't Republicans. There aren't any Republicans in Chicago that are in power, okay, that are making a change. Chicago is the corruption capital of the United States, and it has been run by Democrats since the beginning of time. So there is no evidence. There's nothing she has ever said or done that would make me believe for one single minute that she actually is a Republican. Now, here's another thing. What do we black conservatives think about Tiffany Henyard running around claiming to be a Republican and talking like she's now a part of MAGA? Well, I'll tell you this. We don't want you. No, we don't. We don't need Tiffany Henyard on our side. We don't need a single embarrassment like that, period. We're fine. We don't need you to come in to make us feel like, hey, we're gaining ground by attracting more people under our tent. No. As a matter of fact, you need to just maybe move to Texas and join up with the ghetto Congresswoman, Jasmine Crockpot. Yeah, that would be a much better idea. Democrats, y'all need to come and get her and take your ghetto super mayor back because we don't want her. And that's another thing. Okay, so Democrats, liberals, especially black Democrat liberals, leftists, they don't like my videos when I speak my mind truthfully about Tiffany Henyard because I'm stepping on toes. But it's true. What have the Democrats done for the black community lately? That's right, nothing. The Democrat Party has been the source of corruption from one side to the other. It doesn't matter if you're in Chicago, in New York City, in Texas, or in Minnesota, where you guys still own Ilhan Omar. Yeah, that's right. Democrats are the reason why we taxpayers down here in Missouri are paying money that goes towards the $18 billion that was stolen by the people in Minnesota. Okay, that's your whole mess. And that is why we don't want Tiffany Henyard. We don't need her. So y'all come back and get your ghetto super mayor queen, and you can keep her. We don't need her. So maybe you should stick with the Democratic Party and go rub elbows with Fannie Willis. Maybe Fannie can help you to win a seat on that Fulton County board, but you're going to have to switch back to the Democratic Party. Or like I said, move to Texas. Ghetto Jasmine Crockpot, she'll take you in. They can have her. Move to Dallas. Go open up another secondhand shop. Sell your little ghetto fashion wear. They'll welcome you in with open arms because we don't want you. Not gonna happen. Okay, so that's what I really think. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be upset with the things that I said, and that's okay because I'm not here to walk on eggshells anymore, dancing around the fact of the matter, which is I am not a supporter of the woke, liberal, leftist mindset. It has done enough damage to the black community for the last 250 years, and I'm not standing for it today. And that's it. So let me know what you think about my response to this latest stupid idea, this complete act of mental retardation on the part of Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Let me know what you think. And hey, if you got to unsubscribe, go ahead and unsubscribe because from this point forward, it's only going to get worse. That's all I got for now. This is Carlton, and I'm out.